This book is amazing. The ending is so sad. Oh my gosh, I am not over it. It, as I say in the title, completely broke me. It's been on my mind constantly for 2 whole days. It's just, oh wow. Wow, Sanderson, wow. It's a great book. Honestly, I do actually have quite a bit of, small nitpicks with The Hero of Ages, more so than I do with the other 2 books. But, this book has higher highs than the 2 other books. Just absolutely sensational moments, and, some characters didn't get developed as much as maybe I would have liked, and maybe there was some bit of showing and not telling in some reveals, and maybe the ending felt slightly removed from the rest of the book. But that's as far as the nitpicks go. That's as far as they go. The book was really good. It was a fantastic ending to Mistborn. A lot of the characters had very satisfying conclusions to their character arcs. And, it was a fantastic book. So that is, without getting into spoilers, read it. Read Mistborn. Read the Mistborn trilogy. So this book begins with Ellen trying to save a town that has one of the storage caverns in it. Now he manages to defend the town, and now pretty much he has to go after Foldrek City, which is Set City, and hopefully find the last storage cavern that will, fingers crossed, give them the secret to defeating Ruin, if there is one. That is how that sets up Vin and Ellen and the main party going after Foldrek City to try and siege it, take control, because it is being held by a obligator called Yeoman, who still very much serves under the Lord Ruler, even though the Lord Ruler's been dead for a few years. The other main plotline, there's a few others, but the other main plotline that's going on in this book is in another city called, I pronounced it Yuritu when I read it. Maybe it's different. That's how I heard it in my head. Now, in this city, we have Spook, who is crazy. He's crazy in this book. He's really regretful after what happened at the end of the last book with his uncle's death, and he really wants to make up for that, so he's been burning tin constantly, so he has kind of these super senses, but it also means that everything is really too bright for him, until something happens. So that's all I'll say. Sazed and Breeze with Orianne, they come to help him out, so there's that little party, and the party in Foldrek City. Now, there is a third party, and it's not really a party, it's just one guy, and not even a guy, it's a Kandra, and that's Tensoon. Now, Tensoon is with his people, and he's trying to figure things out, because the end of the world is coming, and they know it. So that sets the book up. That sets the book up. That sets it up. So let's get into spoilers now. Spoiler territory. If you haven't read the book, please don't read it. Don't do it. Don't watch this video anymore. Skip to the end or go away and read the book. Okay? Because spoilers are going to happen, and this book you don't want to get spoiled because you just don't. It's a great book. It's a fantastic book. There's so many great aha moments that connect to the first 2 books in this book. That's the best thing about it. There's stuff in this book that happened that was planned from the very beginning, and you had no idea, and you think, what? Really? That's crazy. That's basically, that's this book. That's what it's called. This book should be called What? Yeah, wow, what's crazy? That should be its subtitle, because that's basically all that was happening in this book. For me, that's all that was happening. So, yeah, go and read it. Go and read it. Go on. So, this bit of the review now is the spoiler section. So, we're going to be talking about the spoilers in this book. So, I can't talk about everything, because this is a very big book. It's bigger than the other 2, I think. Actually, no, it's not. It's bigger than the first one, but slightly smaller than the second one, but only slightly. But we're going to talk about spoilers now. So, first of all, let's talk about Vin, right? So, Vin doesn't really develop too much in this book. She does have some decisions, and she develops a little bit. Basically, she develops mostly in really connecting with her noble heritage and saying she can be part Mistborn and street urchin and also part noble, and that can be a part of her. And she makes that decision, and I'm like, yes, Vin, great job for being who you are. for finding her identity. But she doesn't develop too much, really. Like, at the end, she becomes a god. Like, oh, that's something. But she doesn't really develop. It happens, and she's powerful. It's not like my favorite part in this book. Absolute favorite part is not any of the god stuff. It's when Elend and Vin crash the ball at Frederick City. Oh, I think I had Fredrix before. I'm going to say Fredrix now. Let's do that. Crash the ball at Frederick City, and Vin's going around, and she's taking control of all the party, and dominating. She's dominating, she understands the situation, and she's very good at that courtly role, which is great. I love that. And then at the same time, you got Elend over there doing philosophical stuff with Yeoman. And that was great for him. But we'll get to Elend. He seems to be a bit patient. We'll get to him. But with Vin, and then you've got her and Elend dancing and having their final dance. And Elend picks up the book and she gets really flustered and annoyed at him. That just happy moment together, especially with the ending in hindsight. I thought when I read that was a beautiful chapter. I loved it, just having them be happy together and pretty much at the conclusion of their character arcs. Not completely, because Elend has some more stuff to do. Was just so wholesome. So wholesome. I love this couple. I love them. I've talked about them before in my World Ascension video, so I won't go into detail here, but they're a great couple. But let's talk Elend now. Elend, like Vin, doesn't really have too much development either. He does have to make some decisions. He starts off the book a good king. I've seen some people say he doesn't develop at all in this book. He's just told that he's great. Like, that's it. I disagree. We weren't told he was a great king. We were told he's a good Mistborn. You can make that point. But the entire of the World of Ascension is him learning to be a good king. Okay? Doing that again in this book would just be repeating the same stuff. He became a good king at the end of World of Ascension. Well, you can't become a good king, but he learned from his mistakes at the end of World of Ascension. He learned to be a bit more pragmatic. And then this book, he already has that down. He has that stuff down. So he's now just trying to be the best person he can be and judge that and juggle that king side of him with who he is. And then there's that decision with Fredrix and the Koloss, and that he's not going to attack, which in the end saves the day. And also Ham saying, no, I wouldn't attack either. Just a little quick thing with Ham. I love Ham. Ham's my favorite. Breeze and Ham are some of my favorite side characters. They're fantastic. And Ham and Breeze. Well, Breeze doesn't do anything. That is a complaint I have. Where's Breeze's development? I don't see no Breeze. Breeze was really in himself and sad in the last book, and I thought to myself, Breeze, I'm so sorry. And this book, Breeze is just chilling. Like, yes. There is the fact that he's a little bit overcompensating because he's thinking they're all going to die. In the background, it's not ever in the forefront, but he's just chilling. He cracks jokes and he's himself, which is great. I love it. I mean, we've got Say there to, he can do the depression thing, but I just wanted a bit more from Breeze. But Ham got his line saying, what did he say? Ham said no. He just said no, that he wouldn't attack. No, and Elend said that's the right choice. I'm gonna say no too, and that was a great moment for Elend of him juggling who he is with his kingly duties and those philosophical stuff as well. Especially the philosophical stuff gets really important with Yeoman and about ruling a city. That was great. I love that. But let's move on. Let's move on from that, and let's talk about Say. First of all, I'm gonna throw two things at you. One, did you guys with Hemalurgy, did you think that Vin's earring was allowing Ruin to speak to her and influence her from the beginning? Because I did. So as soon as Ruin was starting to talk to Vin, I was thinking to myself, why is he talking to Vin? Like, what's special about her? What's different about her? Yes, she was Kelsey's apprentice and she did defeat the Lord Ruler, but why would Ruin care about that? Why would he care? And the answer I thought was he wouldn't. Not without something else. So I started to think about it, and the earring was in the back of my mind. That's something that's always been there, that hasn't really been explained. It's a bit of a Chekhov's gun situation, something that's been there the entire time and has been pointed at and thought about, but hasn't actually meant anything, and metal's very important. And as early as when Marsh was going about doing his Marshy stuff, by the way, don't feel sorry for Marsh, like, I do a little bit at first, but I know he's being controlled by Ruin, but I don't feel that much sympathy for him. He's not evil at the beginning, and he's not trying to be bad. He is being controlled, and he does think about killing himself to save Vin, and he does end up saving the day in some way. And I appreciate that. I think he's a great character. Don't have much sympathy, though. Not really. But when Marsh is going around and he puts the spike in Penrod, and he's thinking about how a hemorrhagy spike, can be small or large, can even be the size of a pin. I was thinking, oh, earring, that's how Ruin is controlling Vin. And everything then further just continued to make me think, yeah, that's definitely the case. And that happened a lot in this book. There were a lot of moments where I was starting to think, what's been happening the entire time? This connects, and this connects from that. That's been set up, that I felt had been set up between the three books. And then in this one, it was. And that was really satisfying. It wasn't subverting my expectations, but it doesn't have to. It's a sign of good writing that Sanderson's managed to place that foreshadowing, that I started to connect the dots and then started to figure it out, and then it happened. It's great writing. It's great writing. But let's talk about, because I have been putting off for a while, Sazed, or again, also being the hero of ages. Who figured that out? Because I didn't. Like, there were moments when I was thinking, is Sazed the hero of ages? But it wasn't like a theory that I had down, like the earring thing. It was just me thinking, okay, maybe Sazed. No, actually, no, he wouldn't be, isn't he? He's a very cool character. He's not the hero, though. It's probably not Vin. There's probably no one's the hero of ages. But that's also what Ruin wanted you to think in the end, or what we thought in the last book. So I didn't think it was that either. I just didn't really think about it, to be honest. Didn't really cross my mind too much. I just thought, the title of the book is the title. Cool. But yeah, Sazed is the hero of ages. In the end, he put it on his shoulder and he went all godlike and recreated the world. I love Sazed, his arc in this book about faith and him being depressed and going through that, and there was so much effort put there, like so much effort. I loved it. And then eventually with him learning about faith, there was a lot of, because Sanderson's a Mormon. I felt that when I read it was very important to the author, to Brando Sando, and it was a great arc, and the ending with him becoming literally a shard was amazing. A god. That was something else, alright. Now let's talk about Tensoon. Now, I love Tensoon in this book. Him doing the stuff with the Kandra Society was awesome. He was a great character. I did feel like his ending was a bit anticlimactic, though. I felt like they were setting him up for something really big. And yeah, he got a lot of good stuff in it. But, like, he doesn't have a big conclusion. He just rescues Sazed, and then it cuts to, and then after some stuff, it cuts to him being, I'm assuming, one of the many Mistborns. There's nothing to really finalize him. I can't think of, like, a final moment with Tensoon. And he didn't even get to meet Vin again. That's so sad. So sad. But, I suppose that's just how these things go. Poor Tensoon. Now let's talk about Spook. What was going on with him and Kelsier, who I realised pretty quickly was not Kelsier when he was starting to, ruthlessly kill people. Yeah. Kelsier was ruthless at the beginning with Nobleman. But he did change. He did change in the Final Empire. And this spirit Kelsier, that I'm assuming, if it was Kelsier's spirit, it would have the memories of all of the Final Empire. He wouldn't be doing what he says. He wouldn't be telling, Spook to burn everything. So I pretty quickly realized, this isn't Kelsier, Spook. And I was a bit shocked that Spook wouldn't realize that it wasn't Kelsier either. And the way Hemorrhagy worked in that, and his arc, and the whole releasing of the dam, that was all great. With the canals, I love Spook. Spook, if you told me that Spook would be a really important character when I first read The Final Empire, I would have thought, no, he's just a tiny little side character. But no, in this book, Spook is larger than Ham, he's larger than Breeze, he's larger than Doxson and Clubs ever were. He's not on... Yeah, actually, he's on par with Sazed for most of the book, until the very end. And even at the very end, Spook gets the very last POV moment. The very last chapter is from the epilogue is from Spook's perspective. So, Spook's important. And he was good. I felt like he did a lot in this book, and he really grew immensely. There was a lot of that did happen off page in between the two books, but enough of development of him learning to be who he was. And really taking a stand happened in the book that I feel it was justified that they needed to have that bit of growth in between to make us, what we see now, believable. So, I'm just going to go quickly over now the non-spoiler complaints that I had, which were that I thought that some characters didn't develop as much as I would have liked. That basically is about Ham. Ham didn't really develop at all. He did get his statement with no, about attacking Foldrix, but he didn't do anything. Same with Bree, same with Oriane, same with Belrare. No moment like that. There just wasn't a lot of this book wasn't really about developing. I get that it's a big conclusion, but there was still a lot of. I felt like there could have been something for Breeze. Other complaint is with the epigraphs. They talk about the Kolos, I think, being human, and there's a lot of stuff in there that is really cool for lore, and as a fan I love it, but when I'm actually reading the book, they revealed so much that was just going to get revealed in the book anyway, and so I figured it out before it happened, and that was just really annoying. And my final nitpick is that the ending was just felt a little bit removed, a little bit separate, but really there is no other way it could have happened. I don't think that, and let's jump into it, let's talk about it, let's talk about the ending. So I don't feel like there could have been any other way. This entire book and the series has been building up to a supernatural conclusion, because it's been hinting that the world would return to the way it was with the flowers, with Mare's Flower and greenery from the very beginning. That's always been foreshadowed. Always. And there is no other way you can move a planet back to the way it's supposed to be, especially after so much chaos, without something supernatural or very magical happening. So while it did feel a little bit removed that everyone's struggling, and then Vin's just suddenly, I'm God. And then she's floating around and talking to Ruin. While it did feel a little bit removed and a bit taken aback, it was not something I felt like could have been avoided with the story that Sanderson wanted to tell. Do I love it? I'm not sure. I'm still honestly not sure about the choice to go Super Satan type power with Vin. I'm not sure. Something that I am sure about, and I know that I loved, even though it was it was sad, was Elend's fighting and then him being beheaded. I was out. Honestly, when I read that, I got up and I got a glass of water, and I couldn't. Elend is my favorite. I love Elend so much. He's an amazing character. And to have him die, and then the Vin to watch him be beheaded was just... that was bad. I'm not over that. That's the hardest moment for me. And then, because then you have Vin dying as well, to kill Ruin. But the thing is, for me, Vin died the moment she disappeared. That was Vin's death. Yes, she technically dies when she destroys Ruin, but that's like a spirit of her. So I was kind of already digesting Vin. I was thinking, okay, this is going to be the end. You can't come back from this. But when Elend was beheaded, damn, that got me. Oh, and then I thought, well, Vin has to die now too. They can't keep one of them alive. But this is a very dark story. Mistborn is a very dark story, filled with hope and optimism, but it's still very dark. And to have both of them come out alive wouldn't have been right. And I don't feel like either of them could have died without the other dying too, because they're just insufferable now. They're a pair. They're not insufferable. I love them. They're a great couple. But yeah, what an ending. And then with Sazed being the hero of ages, and then restoring everything for the future and bringing it back. It was a great resolution. And then it was Spook reading paper that Sazed left, and it's saying like Kelsey is proud of you and he's made you a Mistborn. And I talked to Villain Elend and they are happy. I loved all of that, and it just looked to the future in a very optimistic way, and it was just an amazing conclusion to a fantastic trilogy. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more by me, make sure to click that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below what you thought of Mistborn or anything else related that you want to talk about. Maybe you've had a bad day and you want to talk about that. I don't know, but just, you know, be respectful. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. But hopefully you enjoyed this video and it made your day just that much better. Just a bit. Just if it made it a bit better, that's good. You're awesome. Anyway, I've been the Aussie Viking. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.